I used to think I was just dealing with mom guilt, like something I just needed to outgrow, or something I needed to fix, or something that I needed to just like stop feeling. But lately I've been wondering something different. What if it isn't guilt at all, or at least a lot of it? What if it's something else that maybe we just don't have the language for yet? Because I don't actually think that I've been failing. I think I've been trying to hold too much. And I want to slow this down for a second because I think a lot of mothers are walking around carrying something that feels like guilt or something like guilt, but it behaves more like exhaustion or conflict or a dissonance of values or grief or responsibility with no turn-off switch. And we just call it mom guilt. And I started noticing something in myself. I wasn't just feeling guilty for the things that I did. I was feeling guilty for the things that I couldn't possibly control. And that's when it started to feel strange. Because guilt is supposed to mean I did something wrong. And yes, that is definitely happening too. I definitely have those moments where I'm like, that is not the way that I wanted to handle that. I was obviously dysregulated. They're dysregulated. Like, it's not how I want to do that. There are obviously mistakes made and I did something wrong. But in a lot of other instances, what I was actually feeling was more like, I can't hold all of this at the same time. I want to be a present mother. I want to be emotionally regulated. I want to be financially secure and even independently financially secure. I want to contribute. I want to rest. I want to grow. I want to create. I want to be available. I want to have space. I want to have meaning and deep fulfillment and purpose and answering to my mission. I want to have a village. I want to be everything that I could have ever imagined to be. And somewhere in that list, I started realizing something uncomfortable. Some of these things don't compete because I'm doing something wrong, aka the guilt. They compete because I am one person. What if mom guilt isn't one feeling? What if it's a pile of feelings that we haven't separated yet? Because I keep coming back to this idea, it feels like I am trying to be an entire village for my children, not just the mother, but the teacher, the comforter, the regulator, the entertainer, the emotional support system, the chef, the memory keeper, the builder of their future, the everything. And still somehow I'm supposed to be a person outside of all that. And I don't think that that's sustainable. I don't think that that's what motherhood was ever supposed to be. Maybe the problem isn't that I'm failing. Maybe it's that I'm trying to hold more than one person can possibly hold. And there's something else that I keep thinking about. We often say that it's unhealthy for us to expect in our partner to be everything. Best friend, emotional support, co-parent, lover, provider, safe space, everything. And we understand that. That realization came to me a while back in our marriage. And I just started thinking about, I think that I'm applying that same concept with me and my children. We can feel how impossible that is. And I think I've just been doing that in the same way, but in a quieter way, trying to be everything for my children and all at once. And the truth is, it doesn't feel clean. It feels tangled. It feels like spaghetti because it's not just guilt. It's love and fear and responsibility and expectation and grief and desire all braided together, and we call it guilt because if you pull on one string, the others move too. And I think it's just like the easiest word that we have for all of it. Maybe mom guilt isn't a feeling. Maybe it's emotional spaghetti. And I think something shifted for me here because I don't actually think that I'm trying to be perfect. I think I'm just trying to be complete for everyone at the same time. And that is where the weight is. And I keep coming back to this idea, what if motherhood today is asking one person what used to be held by many? A mother, a teacher, a community, a village, a system, a safety net, and one that is trusted by all and all trust. A world all inside of one body. And I don't think that we're failing at that. I think we're just human. I'm not just raising children. I think I've been trying to become the whole village. And maybe that's the thing underneath all this mom guilt. It's not that something is wrong with me, that something is too much for one person. And I don't mean that in a hopeless way. I actually mean it in a very honest way. Because when something is too heavy, the answer is not shame, it's awareness. And I've started thinking about something else. What if I'm not supposed to carry all this perfectly? What if I'm supposed to notice what I'm carrying and slowly, honestly, Start asking, what is mine to hold? Because some of it is mine. Some of it is inherited. Some of it is expectation. Some of it's grief. Some of it is just impossible. And I don't think that I need to solve it all right now. I think I just needed to see it with clarity without turning it into this futile story about failure. And this is where I keep coming back to something that's been forming in me, a sanctuary, not a place where everything is fixed, not a place where everything is resolved, but a place where nothing has to be hidden, where you can just sit down in the middle of the mess and not immediately turn it into something that has to be fixed. A sanctuary isn't where you fix yourself. It's where you stop abandoning yourself. And I don't think I've solved mom guilt by any means, and I'm not sure that I want to, but I think I'm starting to see it differently. Not as proof that I'm failing, but as information. And if that kind of sparks some curiosity in your mind, I have another video that I made titled Overwhelm is Information. So go check that out if you're interested in that. But again, not as proof that I'm failing, but this is information about what I'm trying to hold all at once. All of these uncomfortable times are kind of messages and wake up calls, because so often in this survival mode and motherhood and all this, you just start to do things unconsciously and putting one foot in front of the other. So it's kind of easy to just slide on through, but messages and wake up calls to be like, what's actually happening here? And so maybe the question isn't, how do I stop feeling this mom guilt? Maybe the question is, what am I actually carrying right now? And is it all mine to hold? And maybe that's the beginning of something quieter. Not fixing, not forcing, just seeing and bringing your awareness and bringing yourself back to the eye of that storm to be able to see what's going on. And this has been another echo in the eye of the storm within. And maybe you don't have to get out of the storm right now. Maybe you just find sanctuary in the eye. See you for the next one.